This is 13th lesson of the series. We are learning JavaScript and we are learning JavaScript by examples. This series is for absolute beginners. So if you are a beginner, it is highly recommended that you watch all the videos. So in last few lessons, we have been creating this simple application, and it has an input field, a button and a text area and a reset button. And what it simply does, you type in a number, you click on this button and it generates a times table. In last video, we added some functionality, and the functionality was that when you click in this input field and this text area, everything clears up in these two fields. We want to further improve this application in that when we type in a number and when we click on this button, it does work. But if I refresh it and type in a number and press enter key, nothing happens. It is so natural to press enter key after typing a number. So this is going to be a bit frustrating for the users if they type in a number and press enter key or return key and nothing happens. We will add an event listener to this input field, which will listen when a key is pressed, and if the key pressed is return key or enter key, it will run the same function which is run by this button. So let's close this. So this is the HTML document. I will right mouse click and I will open it with my text editor, which is Sublime text editor. You can use any text editor that you want. I will save this file as on my desktop as 13. This is the 13th lesson, and I will say adding EventListener.html. So if I save it now, minimize this text editor, here is the new document. So I'll open it up. I will change the size of the window, and I will open my text editor, change the size of the window, so we can see the text editor as well as the browser side by side and will know what we are doing. So I will add an event listener with the help of a function. I will say function and I will call it 3, opening and closing parentheses and opening and closing curly bracket, and within these curly brackets we write our code. So I will target this input field, which is this one here, with the help of document.getElementById method, document.getElementById, and the ID of this input field is time. So I will copy and I will paste it here, and I will say add event listener, add event listener to key press event within this input field, which has an ID of times. And we want to run an anonymous function, and this function is A, and we will reference this function within these curly brackets. If condition, if key code is equal to 13, which is the ASCII code for enter or return key, we want to run this function again that we created earlier. So I will copy this and paste it here, and I will close this parenthesis here. So we have created a function, and the function is simply targeting this element with the help of document.getElementById, which is a built-in method with the help of this ID, and we are simply adding an event listener, and the event is key pressed. When any key is pressed, it will listen and run this anonymous function, and the function is if condition. If the key pressed, the code of the key pressed is 13, then run this function. So we can save it. Nothing will happen because we have to call the function before it can work. So I will call this function here, and I will say on input run this function. So let's check to see if the function is working. So if I save it, click in this field, type any number and press enter key, it does work.